Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel of BeingACCA. This is Tushita Gupta, ACCA affiliate, and in this video we're going to be solving the Sweet Treats Bakery question. This question is probably the most requested because I've been getting a lot of messages from various students that please solve this question because they are not finding it easy to solve. So without any further ado, let's get started. Sweet Treats Bakery makes three types of cake: brownies, muffins, and cupcakes. The costs, revenues, and demand for each of these three cakes are as follows. These are the batch sizes, selling price, material cost, labor cost, overheads, minimum, maximum. Okay, so the minimum daily demand is required for a long term contract with a local cafe and must be met. So now we know that the minimum that is given to us 30, 20, 10. This is the minimum that we have to make whichever products we are making the most. This is something that we have to make. Okay, the cakes are made in batches using three sequential processes: weighing, mixing, and baking. Now, what does sequential mean? Sequential means that these are followed in a specific sequence. First weighing will happen, then mixing will happen, and then baking will happen. The products must be produced in their batch sizes but are sold as individual units. Each batch of cakes requires the following amount of time for each process. So these are production is done in batches, and these are the minutes that each of these take in the three processes. The baking stage of the process is done in three ovens, which can be used for 8 hours a day, a total of 1440 available minutes. Ovens have a capacity of one batch per bake regardless of the product type. So this means that in one oven, I cannot put two things together at the same time. I can only put either one batch of brownies or one batch of muffins or one batch of cupcakes. I cannot put one muffins and one brownies batch together. Okay. And then Sweet Treats Bakery uses throughput accounting ratio and considers all costs other than material to be factory costs, which do not vary with production. Now let's come to the first question. On Monday, in addition to the baking ovens, Sweet Treats Bakery has the following process resources available. The first is weighing 240 minutes, mixing 180 minutes. Now they want us to identify which of the three processes, if any, is a bottleneck activity. So let's first list down how much is the available time and how much do we actually need. So labeling the processes over here, first of all, the first process is weighing, then I have mixing, and then I have baking. And then the available time that is given to me in the question is in minutes, which is 240 minutes for weighing. Apologies. 240 minutes for weighing, 180 minutes for mixing, and 1440 minutes. Here it is 1440 minutes for your baking. So I'm just going to put these values over here. Now let's see how much is the time that I need on these. So I am in the business, I have my bakery and I want to make profits. How can I make maximum profits? I can make maximum profits by selling to the consumers how much ever they demand. So if they are demanding me 140 brownies, 90 muffins, and 100 cupcakes, I'm going to give them all. I'm going to give everything that they're asking for so that I can maximize my profit. So let's see, if I want to produce the maximum, how much minutes is it that I need? So let's write for brownies over here, then for cupcakes, muffins over here, and then for cupcakes. So let's see. First of all, let's find out the number of batches also. So for brownies, there is a batch size of 40 and the maximum demand is 140. So if I want to meet this 140 and I make 40 in one batch, how many batches do I need? 3.5. But is it logically possible to make 3.5 batches? No. I can either make 3 batches or 4 batches. So what I will do is, since I want to satisfy the maximum demand, I will make 4 batches. Now coming to muffins. So for muffins, the batch size is 90 and the batch size is 30. The maximum demand is 90. So this becomes 3 batches. Then cupcakes. So as for cupcakes, I have a maximum demand of 100 and 20 is my batch size, which means I'm going to be making 5 batches of cupcakes. Now let's see how much time do they take. Right. So for brownies, one batch will take 15 minutes for weighing, right over here, 15. And then number of batches is 4. again similarly 20 minutes in your mixing and 4 batches, and then again 4 batches and 120 minutes. Now similarly I will write this for all others also. Muffins 15, then again 3 multiplied by 16, then again 3 multiplied by 110. Let's write that for cupcakes. This is 20 multiplied by 5, this is 5 multiplied by 12, and again 5 multiplied by 120. So the units are not a problem over here because available minutes is also given to us in minutes, and the process time is also given to us in minutes. So no need to convert over here. So if I total them up, I will get to know how much is the maximum time that I'm going to need for each of the 3 resources on 3 processes. So I'm just going to copy this formula right over here also. And with this, I get to know that if I want to produce the maximum capacity, I want a total of 205 weighing minutes, but I already have 240, which means I already have enough of it. Now let's go to mixing. I need 188 and I have 180, which means I have less of mixing resource available with me. Now for baking, I want 1410 minutes and I already have 1440 minutes, which means mixing is my only bottleneck. And with this, I have come to the answer that B is the correct option. Now let's go to second question. On Wednesday, the mixing process is identified as the bottleneck process. On this day, only 120 minutes in the mixing process are available. Assuming that Sweet Treats Bakery wants to maximize profit, what is the optimal production plan for Wednesday? Alright, so now we know on this day, mixing is our bottleneck. So let's first find out uh, let's rank these products, that how much are we earning, because how much per minute are we earning per minute of mixing, and then we'll rank them and then we'll produce accordingly. So let's first find out how much is the contribution. Let me list down the 3 products. So these are our 3 products. Then let's write throughput. Since these are manufactured in batches, so I'm going to find out the throughput in batches only. So this is 1 point throughput is selling price minus your material cost, and I'm just going to multiply this by the batch size, which is 40. So this means I am earning a throughput of $50 per batch of brownies. Now again similarly for muffins, it is 0.15 multiplied by 30, which is the number of units in one batch. Then going to cupcakes, this is 2 minus 0.25 and multiplying this by 20. So this is the throughput that I'm getting from each of these 3 products. Now see, let's write how much time do they take in mixing process. In mixing, they are taking, one batch is taking actually here 20, 16 and then 12. So let's find out how much is the throughput per mixing minute. Throughput per mixing minute. So I'm going to do nothing but divide these 2 figures. So this is this divided by this. So I'm just going to copy this right over here. Right. So now I have how much is the throughput that I'm earning per minute of the mixing process. So now I can rank these. If I want to rank these, the highest contribution is given to me by cupcakes, then second highest by brownies, and the third highest by muffin. So this means if I am producing the maximum number of cupcakes, my profit will also be the maximum. Now let's find out how much is it that we are going to produce, how many units of all these we will be producing. So we also have to meet the daily minimum demand, right? So let's first meet that and then we'll optimize our production plan according to our ranking. So now let's see, to meet this demand, how much of these 3 products do we need to have? So let's see over here, I will make there is a minimum daily demand of 30 and in one batch I am making 40. So I will at least have to make one batch of brownies. So one batch of brownies will get me 40 brownies. Now I have to minimum supply 20 muffins and in one batch I am making 30. So I have to make one batch of muffins also. One batch of muffins will give me 30 muffins. Now let's see for cupcakes. The minimum demand is 10 but my batch size is 20. So I will have to make at least one batch. So one batch of cupcakes, and the cupcakes will be 20 in number. Let's also calculate the time that is being taken on the mixing process. So a batch of 40 brownies will take 20 minutes. A batch of muffins was taking 16, and a batch of cupcakes was taking 12. So now what we'll do is I will meet the maximum demand that is possible for my cupcakes now that I've met my contractual requirements. So cupcake was the highest ranking, so I'm going to produce the maximum demand for the cupcakes. The maximum demand is 100. I have already produced 20, so I'm going to produce 100 minus 20 more, which gives me 80, and 80 divided by the batch size, which is 20, this means I'm going to make 4 more batches. So 4 batches of cupcakes will give me 4 multiplied by 20, which will give me 80. Now if you sum both of these, you will get 100, which is the maximum demand. Now let's see how much time this has taken. One batch was taking 12 minutes. I have made 4 batches. Now let's see how much time have I already used from this. So I have already used 96 minutes, and the total that I had on this day was 120. So how many minutes am I left with? This is 120 minus my used minutes, which is 24. Now the second ranking that I have given is to brownies. Now I will go on to produce brownies. Now one batch of brownies takes 20 minutes. So I can only make one batch because if I want to make two batches, I would want to have 40 minutes because one batch is taking 20 minutes. So now the only option that is left with me is to make one batch of brownies. So brownies, one batch of brownies has 40 brownies, and with this I will be utilizing 20 minutes. So now I have used 116, but now I am left with 4 minutes, and nothing can be made in 4 minutes of the mixing process. So I'm just going to total these up to find out how much of what product I am going to be producing. So this is going to be, right, drag this till here, right? So 80 brownies, 30 muffins, and 100 cupcakes, which is the first option, option number A. So now let's go to the third question. The third question says, Sweet Treats Bakery has done a detailed review of its products, costs, and processes. It has identified potential actions to improve its throughput accounting ratio. Which of the following statements will improve the TBAR? And we have to tick in the boxes as appropriate. Okay. So the first statement says the cafe customer will be given a loyalty discount. Now, giving you a loyalty discount, this will reduce the revenue that you are collecting, right? So this will result in a decrease in your TPAR also. So that is why this is not going to improve your TPAR. Going to the second statement, a bulk discount on flour and sugar is available from supplier. Now, this discount on your raw materials will decrease your costs and will eventually improve your throughput accounting ratio. Moving on to the third statement, there is additional demand for the cupcakes in the market. Now, additional demand will not actually increase your TPAR. Why? Because it was not the demand that was the restriction. It is your bottleneck processes. Sometimes it is mixing, sometimes it is baking. So these are your bottlenecks. If these are additionally available, maybe then your TPAR will improve, but additional demand will not improve your TPAR. Moving on to the fourth statement, the rent of the premises has been reduced for the next year. So, yes, this will definitely reduce your costs and will eventually improve your TPAR. Right. So, moving on to the fourth question. On Friday, due to local food festival at the weekend, Sweet Treats Bakery is considering its production of cupcakes. These cupcakes can be sold at the festival at the existing selling price. The company has unlimited capacity for weighing and mixing on Friday, but its existing 3 ovens are already fully utilized. In order to supply cupcakes to the festival, Sweet Treats Bakery will need to hire another identical oven at a cost of $45 for the day. So the question wants us to answer how much will profit increase by if the company hires the new oven and produces as many cupcakes as possible. So let's see how much was the capacity of our ovens if we use them for the entire day. If we use the ovens for an entire day, they can be used for 8 hours, right? So this is the fourth question. Right. So the maximum capacity of one oven that we'll be renting will be 8 hours. And then let's see how much time are cupcakes taking in baking. Cupcakes are taking 120 minutes. So I can say 120 minutes is 2 hours, which means if I rent this oven out, I will be able to produce 4 batches of cupcakes. So what will be the throughput that I'll be earning from these 4 batches of cupcakes? This is the through 4, which is the number of batches, and multiplied by the throughput contribution per batch. So this is 140. And now I'm just going to subtract the cost of renting this oven. This is 140 minus 45. So this will give me 95. This means I will be earning $95 extra if I hire the new oven and produce the maximum number of cupcakes that is possible. Now, going to the last statement, in a previous week, the weighing process was the bottleneck, and the resulting TPAR for the bakery was 1.45. The bakery, we have to tell which of the following statements are true or false. The bakery's operating costs exceeded the total throughput contribution generated from its three products. No, the statement is not correct since our TPAR is more than 1. This means that our return per hour was greater than the cost per hour. So, first statement cannot be right. Now, moving to the second one, less idle time in the mixing department would have improved the TPAR. Now, this statement is also wrong because it is told to us that in the previous week, weighing process was the bottleneck. So, if efficiency is less in your bottleneck process, then that is a problem. But even if you have idle time in another departments which is not the bottleneck, this will not have any impact on your TPAR. Okay, so moving to the last one, improved efficiency during the weighing process would have improved the TPAR. Yes, this is absolutely correct because this was our bottleneck process. And had we taken lesser time to process on the weighing process, we would have improved our TPAR, we would have produced more, and that would have led to an improvement in our TPAR, which means option A is the right answer, which is the third statement only. Now, with this question, we have come to an end for the Sweet Treats Bakery question. In the next video, we'll be solving the next question, which is brick by brick. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.